sister. Welcome to the Happy, Purposeful, and Free podcast, where we are all about going after our dreams, living aligned with our soul's purpose, and playing all out. I'm your guide, Katrina Lelly, life and biz mentor, entrepreneur, mama of four, wife, and big kid at heart. This is where you will get the realest of the real from me and our special guests about living a life with passion, alignment, and what's true for you. We don't do the small talk around here. We are all about being who we are, sharing the tools, tips, all the behind the scenes, and inspiring stories that empower you to boldly pursue your life. I will share all the goods on life, business, and relationships so that you can start living your happy, purposeful, and free. Let's do this thing together. What's up, my soul sister? So happy to be back on the pod. So happy to be back in my home, in my office, to share all of the beauty with you of what's transpired over the last week. And we just got home late last night, Sunday night, from a week-long family road trip to Utah to see some friends, to have some fun, to hang out. And let me tell you, it was a road trip from, not hell, absolutely not. A road trip from, I think, exactly what the universe meant to serve us up this last week. A lot of different things occurred and happened, and as I shared on a Facebook post, it was full of trials and tribulations, but it was also full of fun and love and laughter and adventure and all of those things that a road trip definitely provides for you. And, on the way down on our trip, we had some issues with our truck, like right out of the gate. And we ended up stopping about 45 minutes away from our home because my husband's truck lost power. And, well, you could move, but you need that boost to actually move, pull your trailer, get up the hill, and not be the Sunday driver on the side of the road, right? And, so we spent a couple of hours over on the side of the road. We actually pulled further off than that and spent a couple of hours him fixing it, calling around to see if he could get parts for what we needed because he diagnosed the problem. And we couldn't find parts locally. They were going to have to be special ordered in, but he was able to fix it. And I was like, okay, is it fixed enough to where we continue on our trip? We're close enough to home to where if we need to make the decision to leave now, and not go, then that's what we do. But he was confident, and I'm confident in my husband because he's an incredibly intelligent, smart. He's a mechanic. He can do all the things. He can fix anything and almost, create something out of nothing. And it's one of the things that I love absolutely most about him. And so we continued on our way, and we continued to have issues. We continued to have problems with the truck on our road trip. We had to pull over several times. And what normally is around a 15-hour road trip, probably with a trailer, ended up taking us a total drive time of about 24 hours. So we, and to top it off, most of the time their AC was not working in the truck, and we were driving in 100-degree weather. Okay, so just to kind of put it in perspective, all of the kids are there. We have the dog with us. So it's 6 of us in the truck, plus a dog at one point. We brought her up front instead of having her ride in the kennel in the back. And no AC, windows down. But all of our kids were so amazingly good about the whole thing. Their attitudes were good. Yes, they were hot. We were tired. All of the things. Everybody's attitude was pretty optimistic, pretty good. Like, okay, this is just what it is. And it was funny because I was explaining to the kids, like partway through this road trip, about how this is typical. Like, this is normal for road trips. This isn't something that just doesn't necessarily not happen. And we eventually made it to our destination. We ended up ordering a part on the road and had it delivered to my friend's house in Utah. But we made it to our destination, a campground, Deer Creek campground near Park City, Utah. And we had a great week. We did zip lining. We took my son we took all the kids to the Woodward Park where they trampolined, jumped in the ball pit or the foam pit. my son had his scooter, was, hanging out on the scooter, and everybody, we had a really great week. We visited with my friends. We went and played games. The kids got along really great, and it was amazing. And my husband fixed his truck, thought we were good to go, put the new part in, thought we were good to go. And we decided to, on the way home, kind of actually take our time. Instead of rushing home to get home Friday, we decided, okay, well, maybe we'll be home Saturday. We'll drive Friday to, we'll get back into Washington, into Kennewick, which is at the very southern east of Washington State. And we'll get there and we'll be good. But let's actually, Friday, we decided to drive to Craters of the Moon in Idaho, which if you've never been there, it's pretty freaking cool. We went through caves, and we like at one point we were literally army crawling through one of the caves, and it was just a beautiful, interesting sight to see remnants of lava flow, and it really does makes you feel like you're literally walking on the moon or something like that, like you're in another land. And all of us had a really, really great time, and we got there that day with really no issues. Like we made it. Got there, the next day we were going to get up and drive to Kennewick, Washington, and we got about, 3 hours into our drive, 4 hours into our drive, and my husband's truck was overheating crazily, and we ended up in Mountain Home, Idaho, is where we ended up breaking down. Everything was overheating, we blowing out black smoke in the truck. He has a diesel truck and all of the things, and by this point, everybody's attitude is still pretty good, but also at the same time, it's still pretty freaking fed up. And we get there and, we find out the truck is it's not going to go anywhere. We ended up finding a local mechanic that was recommended to us by one of the parts stores guys, and were able to get it there. And they were so gracious. They were so inviting. They were so welcoming. They were so helpful. We ended up parking our trailer there for the night, and we called some friends, and these two amazing human beings said, we're coming to get you. And so they brought both of their vehicles down and drove 8.5 hours and came and picked us up. Thinking about these amazing people, wants to make me cry, because, to have friends like that in your life is such a gift. Such an incredible gift. And it's something we would absolutely do for them as well. And they know that. They know that if they needed anything, they could call us and we would be there to help them. And that's just how they are for us. And, it's not friends we see all the time, but they're just those kind of people, which is special and rare and so beautiful. And they did. They ended up driving down overnight, and they had kind of a shit show on the way down in their own drive, and roads being closed and not being able to find a hotel to spend the night in, and just kind of chaotic mess. And they ended up coming down and getting us and picking us up, bringing both of their vehicles down, and we finally got home late Sunday night. A long day of driving, but it was amazing. But on Saturday night, after we got settled in to where we were going to be staying for the night, talking to the mechanic, with totally, we just knew he knows what he's talking about, because you never know what you can get on these things. But I was sitting down on the couch with my husband at one point. We didn't get a whole lot of time to really just kind of hang out together, the whole family, the kids were around usually the whole time. And I was like, okay, we need to talk, because, I want to blame you. I want to be frustrated. And yeah, am I frustrated? But I don't blame you. Because I joke with him, I told you not to buy a Ford truck. When I was a kid growing up, my dad had Ford trucks, and there was always an issue. And we have a pretty similar story as this, having to leave his truck in another state. And I go, I'm just frustrated. I'm just tired. I'm trying to figure out, what in the world are we supposed to be learning here? What are we supposed to take away from this? And my husband thinks his was patience, and that very well could be. I don't necessarily believe it was patience for me, but it was just okay, yes, things happen. But I felt really compelled to share and chat with him and open this up to be there's just, talking to our friends and their plans and what they're doing. And I'm we can't go, there's no way we're going home the same people. Because one, we both recognized how amazingly well our family did, how amazingly well our kids did on this road trip with all of the trials and tribulations, all of the issues. And they're like, no, it was a really great trip, except for the actual traveling part of it, right? Which kind of makes us all giggle. But they all did well. And then we talked about where we were at as husband and wife. And I don't know, a year ago, maybe even 6 months ago, had we been on this trip together, it would have looked a lot different between us. There would have been a lot more hostility. There would have been a lot more anger and blaming and frustration and all of the things that would have looked so much different. And recognizing that was such a gift, like truly such a gift. Like maybe that's all we're supposed to know. And, I don't think that's all we're supposed to get from this. We're coming home, not the same people. Things are going to change. I don't know what that looks like, but I just feel as though there is a big pull to lean in so freaking deep. Like we can't help but really begin to evolve and change. And, one of the things we talked about in this is where we're at, just where we're at in our life. And my husband and I, we've been so just things come and work out for us in the most beautiful ways. It's baffling when I look back to it. It's just like, oh my gosh, how did that come together? But it's always come together. But I always share the truth on here. I'm always going to be honest with you guys. There's one area where we don't excel so well in, and that's in the area of finances and wealth. And it's one thing that keeps me held back from stepping more into or talking more about it with people and even with my own clients. And it's on its way. I know that at the core, it's on its way. It's like the in between of that believing that it's on its way. But we both have recognized that's the one area. So what can we do now going forward? I'm building this business, is he doing all of the things that he wants to do? And so it was just great to get that time to sit down and have a conversation that I don't know that we would have had we not been in this situation. And so that could be the gift of all of this. The situation that, seems tumultuous on the outside, frustrating, all of the things. And yeah, do I feel those things? There were times I broke down. I was sad. I wanted to cry. And I felt like the whole week I was kind of trying to hold stuff together a bit. But I think it brought about this conversation in recognizing, one, how far we've come. So I wonder with you, when's the last time you actually looked at how far you've come from where you were? There's growth opportunity in every single day. And if we don't really take time to sit and be still, and I think that was part of this too, was to pause and to play. If we don't take that time to pause, to play, to recognize all of the growth, all of the things, then, we're never going to see it. We're obviously not going to see it. And we're going to continue to chase, and we're going to continue to look forward to in ways that are almost detrimental to us, to our mental well-being, our spiritual well-being, or even our physical well-being, all of those things. And, when is the last time you got to stop and take a look? And we got to evaluate, gosh, what are we doing? Are the paths we on the paths we're meant to be on? And I believe for me, it is true. I think my husband is starting to raise some questions about, what more is possible for him. And, that honestly excites me because I see so much more in him, and where he's at, there's not a lot of room for growth. And I think that he's capable of so much more. So it's bringing the opportunity to invite in, what else is out there? What else is opportunity for us? And we don't know exactly what that looks like. And that's okay, because we're not supposed to always know exactly what that looks like. So recognizing, one, all of the growth, the blessedness, all of the things that are working for us in our favor, and how far we've come, and doing the same for yourself. How far have you come? And then looking at maybe this is a time to really shift what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, how I'm being. This is an opportunity to really evaluate and take inventory of. And it was just beautiful in that experience. And I'm sure I'll have more to share about this experience on later episodes, if you're following me over on social media. But I took this last week and I didn't get on too much, and I shared mostly on Facebook. I didn't share it too much on Instagram, but Facebook, each day I post a little update, and I honestly do that more for myself so I remember the trip and have those memories show up in my Facebook memories. I always appreciate when those show up, but it's just taking that time to kind of just reflect and take an inventory, reevaluate. So I wanted to share that with you. That was what was on my heart to share with you for today, to kind of help you get started in this new week, this new day, this new moment, able to reflect and kind of take a look at what's going on, where you've been, where you've come from, and where you're going. And any opportunity, any time is a beautiful time to do that. Sometimes I guess we need those kick in the pants, like having a vehicle break down and you and your family are stranded 8 hours away from home. Maybe it's that opportunity. I don't want that for you. I don't wish that for anybody, because we're definitely grateful to be home. It was a long week, but a beautiful week as well. So I will talk to you very soon, and just grateful to you for coming back to the show. If you're new to the show, thank you for being here, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening. And if you loved this episode and know of someone else who has a powerful story and are doing big things, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world to me if you helped me get this message out to as many listeners as I can. So please, if you liked what you heard, it goes a long way to take 60 seconds, leave me a 5-star review, and share this episode with a girlfriend. Don't forget to tag me on social media, and if that's not your thing, shoot me a DM, because I would like to personally thank you for doing so. We are not meant to do this life alone, and I'm so grateful to be on this journey with you. Until next time.